back to another video, and today I have an absolutely amazing virtual world deck profile for you guys with some spicy tech, as you guys can see. Now before I do get into the video, I just want to say this deck is so heavily underrated, and a lot of people think without VFD the deck can't play, but you know, without the very fun dragon VFD, the deck is still very powerful, and I will prove that to you guys here today, especially with some support from Dawn of Majesty, being Wolfriet, the Stellar Windwolf. Very cool stuff. And without further ado, be sure to smash the like button, comment down below what you guys think of my list of virtual world, and of course subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and I will appreciate it a ton. And I realized the other video, only 85% of the last people who watched the other video were not subscribed, which is pretty insane. So you know what, let's try to get to 80% in this video. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So first off, you have triple virtual world Mahime Lulu. Lulu is obviously the best one by far. You always want your Lulu to resolve no matter what. It's such a great plus, and it loads up your graveyard. Now, the fact that you have such a powerful card like this is why the deck is so good. It's really also the only semi-pricey card in the deck, because you can sub out Imperm for Veiler and Zeus. Those are the only semi-pricey stuff, so you can get this deck for $100, excluding side deck, which is very reasonable considering the power level over here. So triple Lulu, we have triple GG. This card is another plus. Once again, Lulu is just a searcher, and then you have GG, who is basically recursion. It's just another plus, right? The whole deck, about the whole game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you want to get as much advantage as possible, and to get card advantage, you want to run cards that are 2-for-1s or 3-for-1s. And these cards, not only do they get you a card back, but they get you a body, so they are all +1s, which is very good. Now, I have a semi-controversial pick over here, triple virtual world Nian Yan. So Nian Yan, a lot of people do like running at 2, but the thing is, with cards like Desires, even at 2, I think it's not, it's too little. I really think this card is just absolutely insane, and I think maxing it out is just the best possible play you can do, especially because you can normal summon cards like Bell or Ash to revive a Nian Yan, and then just overlay, make a free break sword or something like that, and then make Zeus. It's such a great card, and I do think at 3 it is proper. I really advise you guys to test it out before, you know, doing anything you don't want to do or do want to do, but definitely try this out. I do think it at 3 is pretty good. Triple Roshi, so Lao is also a great one. It's just a bunch of free monsters because it just summons itself, summons from the graveyard, and all of the virtual worlds also send one from deck to the grave, which is very useful, by the way, especially with Malicious over here, but I'll get to that in a bit. So triple Lao, and finally triple Lily. Lily is also very good. It's just double Foolish. Basically, Foolish is it's limited for a reason, and this card foolishes twice, so it's that good. Yeah, I do like maxing out the virtual world package. If you didn't tell, I think having everything at 3, while a bit weird, but just really because of Nian Yan, I think this is just the perfect ratios for it. Double Malicious. This is one of the best techs in virtual world, and let me explain why. Now, this card is so incredibly broken. So first off, you can pitch this with King Long as cost, and then your cost actually becomes an advantage. Now, after you pitch it for cost, keep in mind it's a level 6, which synergizes with the virtual world stuff amazing, but let's you banish your Nian Yan, you can shuffle it into the deck and then just loop it. You basically never run out of Maliciouses, so it becomes an infinite source of monsters over every single turn that you can just abuse, and I really love this tech in the deck. It's not a brick, you want to see it, and even having in your deck is never bad, because this card is just amazing. I really love this, and especially with the new support in Burst of Majesty, I'll be able to make the fusion monster now, and I do think that just makes the deck even better. Triple Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Now, to go with that, we have our triple Bell. These two are one of the best hand traps in this format. Ash hits everything, Bell hits almost everything, but both of these are very importantly level 3, and they are tuners. So if you normal summon them, as I said, you can revive a Nian Yan, and just straight up make a synchro, well, not make a synchro, but overlay them, make Zeus, you know, in a bad hand, stuff like that is very powerful. And I forgot to mention, Nian Yan's second effect is very powerful. You can shuffle back the Mali, all that stuff, and just recur in the grind game. Triple Virtual World City Kowloon. Kowloon is just absolutely broken. There is so much that's good about this card, and so little that isn't. And by so little that isn't, I mean there's nothing that's bad about it. This card starts half of your combos, and seeing it is just one of the best possible feelings you can have, because you just get a straight up interruption onto your board in the form of Chuche. But on top of Chuche, you get something to play with because all of your virtual worlds now have targets to pop off. Triple Kowloon, I would never bump this card down. Triple King Long. In this deck, like in this virtual world list, King Long is even better than in every other virtual world list because it's running Mali, and you can just pitch the Mali and plus so hard off of it. It's really ridiculous. Triple Pot of Desires. I have such a love-hate relationship with this card. I always tend to banish like the stuff I don't want to banish, but the thing is, this card is just too good not to run. Especially by running 3 Nian Yan, you ensure that you'll always have something left over. The only thing that would suck is banishing one of your Malis, which I don't really like, but to be honest, it's perfectly fine. Like, the deck is just that good. Having Triple Desires is amazing. One, Called by the Grave. I love Called by, especially, like, you want your Lulu to resolve, so if they Ash the Lulu, that kind of sucks. So having the Called by just to sack it is really nice sometimes. One, E-Telly. It's basically, in a sense, a bad copy of Kowloon, because you can just bring out a Nian Yan, and then you can target the Nian Yan to bring out stuff. But not to mention, it's also an extender, which is a good thing about it. So you can bring out the Nian Yan, and then you can synchro with it. You can do so on. But it just really is a great card. I do think this card should be going at least to 2 sometime soon. Triple Virtual Gate Chuche. Chuche is broken not only because it has the pop effect that not only pops but recycles your resources, because you'll always have some stuff banished, but it also serves as a very main purpose for Kowloon. You always targeted summon, and just a great part of your end board. And a lot of people forget it has a great graveyard effect to increase or decrease one of your virtual monsters level by 3 until the end of the turn, which is a very powerful deck, and especially in a deck that relies so heavily on synchro summoning and exist summoning, very level modulation, level based like deck type. We have one virtual gate Zanwu. Zanwu is just a great extender. I would say this card is one of the cards that comes up the least, but when it does come up, it's pretty nice. A lot of people forget it does have also its first effect, where during the battle phase, if you have another virtual gate card, so if you already have Chuche on the field and then you have Zanwu, you can target a face-up monster on the field and just change its battle position. So in some very niche scenarios, that can save you from dying, I guess. But this doesn't come up enough. So yeah, it is a good card, but not up more than 1. And quick thing, I just wanted to mention, what's this card called? I'm not running the level 6 Toto. I don't think this card is good, personally. I find myself bricking on it more often than not. But if you guys want to run this, then go for it. I would say just cut, like, I don't know, just, it's tough. Cut, like, a Called by or something like that. It really depends on you. Next up, we have our extra deck, one Juju. Juju, so many decks just can't out it because it can't be disturbed by battle or card effects, and it's just a really hard card to out for a lot of the decks in the current metagame. We have one Coral Dragon. Even without VFD, this card is broken because it's still draw 1, and if there's anything that we know in Yu-Gi-Oh! Drawing cards is very good. Stardust Charge Warrior, exactly the same reason, and a lot of people forget it does have a second effect where it can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls, which is pretty cool. In a scenario where you need something like that, it is there for you, which is really nice. One Zolkin to go with our one Crystalling. This package is so good. It's part of your end board, and it's one of the most important things to making Virtual World as good as it is. You're running so many cards you can just straight up set, trigger the Zolkin, and then get a free Crystalling. Now, Crystalling is just such a broken card, being able to negate stuff and destroy, and if you do that, it also gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster, which is very good. A lot of decks just straight up can't out it because it just gets big really fast. Quick note, I am running 3 Chuche, not 2, which is standard. It's exact same reasoning for Nian Yan. Back to the extra deck. We are running one Shen Shen. Shen Shen is just broken. This kills the grind for a lot of people because, for example, let's take Shadal Invoked. They activate their Shadal Fusion. You have Shen Shen on the field. The Shadal Fusion is banished. Now, when their construct goes like with, I don't know, Nadir's Servant or something, even though they would never do that, they don't have the what's it called? they don't have shut all fusion engraved, and if they summon Construct to link it off, it gets banished. Kills their Schism, it kills their Alistair play, it kills so many things, and I really do love that about this card. 1 Vermilion, Vermilion's still good, but the card I'm really excited to talk about over here is Wilfried, the Stellar Wind Wolf. This card is brand new from Dawn of Majesty, and let me just read it to you guys real fast. You can only control 1 copy of it. While this card has less than 4,000 attack, each time another monster's effect is activated, this card gains 300 attack immediately after it resolves. And then once per turn, if it has 4,000 or more attack, quick effect, you can shuffle it and all monsters your opponent controls back into the deck. Now, against a heavy combo deck like Salad, for example, or something like that, or even Dragon Link in some scenarios, if you summon Wilfried, it acts like a pseudo max C. Not because you draw cards, but because your opponent has to decide if they want to play into it or if they limit themselves. Because the thing is, the moment it reaches 4,000 attack, it is objectively better than Zeus. But the thing is, it can't happen multiple times, but it also shuffles itself back into the deck. And not to mention, it will just be big. Every time they activate a monster effect, it's plus 300. And I'm not going to lie, that's just pretty good. They have 5 effects until it reaches 4,000. And after 5 effects pass, you can screw them over. So make this against any combo deck, and it will be a nice day. 1 Break Sword. Obviously, it's so easy to make this card in the deck, and I like popping, like, my opponent's cards. So, you know, Break Sword is pretty nice in that sense. 1 Downward Magician. Downward is great for getting an extra material on the Zeus. 1 Fortune Tune. Fortune Tune is just broken. It can't be targeted on the field of card effects. And then if it's gonna be destroyed, you can detach material from it instead. And it can come up in time, because once returned during the standby phase, you can gain 500 life points if it is on the field. So that definitely can come up in time. This card is really great, and one of the easiest ways to make Zeus. 1 Consular Ptolemy, M7. Ptolemy is so broken, it can shuffle back to your hand from the grave literally any card, even hand traps, which is insane. 1 Beatrice. I think this card should be banned. In general, it's so good. It sends Eva and like Drytron, but that's a discussion for a different video. Beatrice is just absolutely broken. You can send literally whatever you need, and it's incredibly easy to make. 1 Fan Fan. Fan Fan's really nice. A lot of decks also can't out this card, so you have a lot of towers in this deck, and Fan Fan is one of them. I really do like this card, and in niche scenarios, this always comes up. 1 AA Zeus the Sky Thunder. This card is so broken. Literally, this is such a big win condition. Just don't make it going first. Obviously, it's impossible to make going first, but try to hold it for as long as possible, and after you've burned through your main engine, if it comes to it, make Zeus, screw your opponent over. Just send everything, and it's a good day. You're gonna win. Side deck, very basic side deck, triple Droll, triple Nibiru. I think Nibiru is really good this format in the side deck, not in the main deck, but be sure to be siding this card because it is pretty important. Triple Dark Lunar more for those heavy combo deck matchups. Lightning Storm, obviously just a generic going second card, that's pretty good. Same thing for Evenly, your opponent usually won't play around it, so it's pretty nice to have. And that's basically it for the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash the like and comment down below what you guys think of the deck, and of course, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Let's try to get to 80% on this video. 85% last time. Let's see if we can just lower that by 5%. If we can, that will be insane. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright, guys. Peace.